Getting started with investing can feel overwhelming. You open up a brokerage website and suddenly you are staring at hundreds of funds with strange names, confusing tickers, and performance numbers that make your head spin. It is easy to feel paralyzed and just decide to figure it out later. But here is the truth. The hardest part of investing is simply getting started. And Fidelity has made that first step easier than almost any other brokerage out there. Today, I am going to walk you through the best Fidelity funds for beginners. These are funds that are low cost, easy to understand, and designed to help you build wealth without needing a finance degree. By the end of this video, you will know exactly where to put your first investment dollars. Before we get into the specific funds, let me tell you why Fidelity is such a great place for beginners to start. First, many Fidelity funds have zero minimum investment. You can open an account and start investing with whatever amount you have, even if it is just $50. Other brokerages often require $1,000 or more just to get started, which keeps a lot of people on the sidelines. Fidelity removes that barrier entirely. Second, Fidelity offers some of the lowest costs in the industry. Their index funds have expense ratios as low as 0%. That means you keep almost all of the returns your investments generate instead of paying them away in fees. And third, Fidelity has an incredible library of educational resources. They offer free articles, videos, webinars, and even interactive learning tools that teach you the basics of investing. It is like having a financial coach available anytime you need one. So with all of that in mind, let me show you 5 specific funds that are perfect for beginners. Number 1. The Fidelity 500 Index Fund. Ticker FIX. This is the fund I recommend to almost every beginner. FIX simply tracks the S&P 500, which is a collection of the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the United States. When you buy this fund, you are buying a tiny piece of companies like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, and hundreds of others. You get instant diversification across every major sector of the U.S. economy. The expense ratio is just 0.015%. That is 1.5 cents per year for every $100 you have invested. To put that in perspective, the average mutual fund charges around 0.50%. FIX is more than 30 times cheaper than average, and there is zero minimum investment required, so you can start with any amount. FIX had a total return of 15.54% in the past year, since its inception in 1988. The average annual return has been 13.60%. This is the foundational fund that should be the core of any beginner portfolio. Number 2. The Fidelity Total Market Index Fund. Ticker SCAX. If you want even broader diversification than the S&P 500, FSCAX is your answer. This fund tracks the entire U.S. stock market, not just the 500 largest companies. It includes mid-cap and small-cap stocks too, which means you also own smaller companies with potentially higher growth opportunities. FSCAX has an expense ratio of 0.020%, again, incredibly low. It has total assets of nearly $119 billion, and Morningstar gives it a gold rating, which is their highest designation. FSCAX had a total return of 36.93% in the past year alone. Since inception, the average annual return has been 14.37%. For a beginner, SCAX is arguably the ultimate one-fund solution for U.S. stock exposure. You own the whole market, and you pay almost nothing for the privilege. Number 3. The Fidelity Zero Total Market Index Fund. Ticker ZROX. Here is where Fidelity truly innovated. In 2018, they introduced the Zero funds, which have exactly what the name promises: a 0% expense ratio. No fees whatsoever. ZROX also tracks the entire U.S. stock market, similar to FSCAX but with no management fee. There is also no minimum investment requirement. FSROX has returned 39.41% in the past year. Since its inception in 2018, the average annual return has been 13.69%. It holds over 2,500 different stocks. For a brand new investor starting with a zero-fee, zero-minimum fund like FSROX is almost a no-brainer. Number 4. The Fidelity Zero International Index Fund. Ticker SILX. When you are ready to add international diversification to your portfolio, ZILX is the perfect companion to FSROX. This fund also has a 0% expense ratio and zero minimum investment. It tracks a broad index of both developed and emerging markets outside the United States. This fund gives you exposure to companies based in Europe, Japan, China, and other markets around the world. International diversification can help smooth out your returns because U.S. and international markets often perform differently at different times. Adding ZILX to your portfolio is a simple way to become a global investor. Number 5. The Fidelity Balanced Fund. Ticker FBALX. If you are a more conservative beginner, or if you are investing for a goal that is less than 10 years away, a balanced fund might be a better fit. FBALX invests approximately 60% in stocks and the remainder in bonds and other debt securities. That mix gives you growth potential from the stocks and stability from the bonds. FBALX has an expense ratio of 0.46%, which is higher than the index funds I just mentioned, but it is actively managed and does the asset allocation work for you. The fund has returned 12.32% over the past 12 months and 10.83% annualized over the last 10 years. For beginners who want a simpler, less volatile experience, FBALX is a solid choice. Now let me also mention Fidelity Go, which is not a fund but a robo-advisor service that is perfect for absolute beginners who do not want to pick funds at all. You answer a few questions about your goals and risk tolerance, and Fidelity builds and manages a diversified portfolio for you using low-cost Fidelity Flex funds. The best part is that Fidelity Go has no management fee until your balance reaches $25,000. And there is no minimum initial investment to open an account. Once your account hits $10, they start investing for you. It is an incredibly easy way to get started, and you can always take over managing the portfolio yourself later if you want to. So how do you choose between all of these options? Let me give you a simple guide. If you want pure simplicity and the most famous index in the world, start with FIFSEX, the Fidelity 500 Index Fund. You will own 500 of the largest U.S. companies. If you want total U.S. market coverage, choose FIFSCAX or FSROX. They are nearly identical, except that FSROX has a zero expense ratio. If you want to build a complete two-fund portfolio, buy FSROX for U.S. stocks and ZILX for international stocks. That gives you exposure to the entire global stock market at zero cost. If you are a more conservative investor or have a shorter time horizon, choose FBALX for its built-in 60% stock and 40% bond allocation. And if you do not want to pick any funds at all, open a Fidelity Go account and let the robo-advisor do everything for you. Before you go, let me share a few important things to keep in mind as a beginner investor. First, do not wait to start. One of the biggest mistakes new investors make is delaying their first investment because they are waiting for the perfect moment. There is almost never a perfect moment. Time in the market matters far more than timing the market. Second, focus on costs. Expense ratios might seem tiny, but over decades they can eat up a huge portion of your returns. The funds I have recommended today all have some of the lowest expense ratios available anywhere. Third, stay consistent. Set up automatic monthly investments even if it is just $50 a month. Consistency beats timing every single time. And fourth, remember that investing is a long-term game. Do not panic when the market drops. Market corrections are normal and expected. The best thing you can do is keep buying and stay the course. So let me leave you with this. Starting your investment journey does not have to be complicated. Fidelity has made it easier than ever, with zero minimums, zero fees, and simple funds that anyone can understand. Pick one fund from this list, open an account, and make your first purchase today. You do not need to be an expert to become an investor. You just need to start. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you feel more confident about getting started, hit the like button and subscribe. We have a new video in this series coming up, covering the top low-cost Fidelity funds smart investors use. You do not want to miss that. See you in the next one.